1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out there in Mandolin Land, Mike Heading here, coming to you today with the old song, Home Sweet Home in the key of C. I did this song last week for banjo, and I thought it'd be fun to do a mandolin version. Such a great, beautiful old melody. We're going to work on kind of playing it in a traditional mandolin style, using a lot of kind of that tremolo, not the super fast tremolo you might use in classical music or on slower songs, but kind of that brushing tremolo that I associate with guys like Bill Monroe. Mike Compton's really good at that, where you're kind of brushing over the strings, playing those double stops, and just filling up that sound, bringing out that melody. It's a really fun way to play the mandolin. We're going to do two A parts and two B parts, and we'll do one down the octave and one up an octave, so you'll get a whole bunch of practice moving around the fretboard as well. I'll break down all the solos note for note, just like I played at the beginning. So I'll show you all the positions, all the pick direction needed to play the song, everything you're going to need to learn this tune. We'll break it down, and then we'll do some backup as well. The chords are pretty easy on this song, just C, F, and G. But we'll show you some, different chord shapes you can use, how to throw in a couple little seventh chords to spice it up just a little bit. All right, let's break down an intermediate version of Home Sweet Home in the key of C. Let's do this. All right, let's start breaking down this intermediate version of Home Sweet Home. Let's start by playing the first half of the A part, which will be the first 9 measures into the very first beat of measure 10, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Times I'll do it really slow. And a little bit faster. Okay, so the first 2 measures are actually going to be a little intro, and I'll show you 2 different ways to do this. If you want to start the song from square 1 without anyone playing beforehand, then you're going to want to play measures 1 and 2, which will be a longer intro. If you're coming right from backup and the song's already playing, then you're just going to want to play measure 2, but we'll break that down in a second. So for measure 1, pretty easy. I've just got my ring finger on the 5th fret of the G string, my first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and your middle finger could kind of hover over the 3rd fret of the A string, which is kind of like this C chord. That's the position we're working out of, but I'm just playing my ring finger and index, and I'm just going to do some shuffle picking, down, down, up, down, down, up. So we just have basically the equivalent of like a drummer clicking their drumsticks to set the tempo. That's all we're doing here. Sometimes they call it potatoes or taters. That's really all we're doing, is we're just setting the tempo. And then we're going to play a little lick to get us into the melody. Open 2 on the low G string, and then 5th fret, and then open D. We want to get up to the 2nd fret on the D string that we're going to get up to in a second. So we have... Like I said, if the song's already started, then you're just going to want to play measure 2. Like that, right? So you just have measure 1 would essentially just be a strum then. So two options, right? Like I said, depending on whether you're starting the song or the song's already started. And then we're going to get into measure 2, which is basically the start of the song. We're going to play open 2 on the D string, and then 2 open, and then back to that little 2-5 double stop, just to fill it up. So we have, and if you didn't like that double stop for whatever reason, you could just play the 5th fret on its own, which would sound like this. So this is kind of what I call chord position playing, though, where we're thinking out of this C shape, and that's why kind of just keeping your fingers hovering over. Very like a Monroe style or Mike Compton style way to play a melody where you're harmonizing it with other notes in the chord. Just a great way to fill up the sound as well. And then for measure 4, we're going to put our middle finger on the 3rd fret. And you could actually play both those strings if you want to keep your ring finger down, which will fill it up even more. So that's going to be an F. So we're essentially going from this C to this F. So that's what we're doing. So we have, and then you're going to take your ring finger and slide from 5 to 7 on the D string while picking, and your your index finger is going to go up to the 3rd fret on the A string. So we're going to essentially slide up. So we're going from here, and then we're going to land in this C double stop. So put your middle finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and you're going to play, and then open. And then that's going to get us back down, and we're going to go, and then, so it's just a bunch of double stops. So let's break it down. It's probably, once you get the positions, it's not that challenging. So we have, so then we go to this F, slide up, and then we're in this shape right here, which is basically like your C. It's just like your upper 2nd position C major. So that's kind of the shape we're sliding into. So we're here, slide up, and do down up picking, and then use this open string to slide back down and do, and then this C double stop, and then this C chord here. So let's break down the melody. So the melody is, right, so we're basically just harmonizing that melody. Now 7, a G lick, open D, slide from 4 to 7 on the G string, which will fill that sound up, and pick. And then open 2, so you have, and then keep that finger down and play 3rd fret on the D string, right back to that finger that was just down on the 2nd fret, and then open, and then 5, open. So 5th fret on the G string, open D. Let's play those 2 measures together. So you have, just looping it. Okay, so we kind of, you can hear how that gets into that. So we can walk down. And this is kind of like a G7 little lick, and then a little response. That's just kind of a little C lick. We're going to quick slide from 1 to 2 on the D string, and then down, up. So keep your 1st finger down, and then back to that 2nd fret, 5th fret. So you have, so you come out of that G lick, back into C. So that's like one time through the A part. Let's play that whole A part. Here we go. You could loop it. So you would measure 10, which would basically go right into the start of measure 2, that 5th fret, and then you do the pickup in measure 2 if you wanted to loop it. Because actually we're going to play a second A part up another octave, but if you like the lower A part, you could also just play it twice. So you can hear how it loops. Really thinking about floating on the strings. I'm not on those little double stop slides. I'm really kind of floating on top of the strings with my right hand. Same here. It's not that fast tremolo, but it's also kind of another style of tremolo where you're really just grazing the strings. That's going to be a big part of getting this sound, especially in the second part. So that's the first 9 measures. Now let's break down the second half of the A part.